You may need to do a restoration, but instead of doing an entire server or virtual machine, you may just want to restore specific files and folders. So we can do that by going to the disk section under backups in the home tab on the left-hand side, and then select the server you want. So I'll start with the agent backup, and then I expanded that and I see server 01. Now I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose the restore guest files from a Microsoft Windows server. And when I select that, we get a wizard that pops up. Now it asks me, which restore point do I want to use? I'll just choose the default, which is fine, and click next. You can type in a restore reason if you'd like. And then you want to browse. So when it refers to guest files, it's just referring to individual files and folders that are on the server that's been backed up. Now I chose an incremental backup, but it's going to synthesize the incremental backup along with the previous incremental backups all the way back to the full backup. So I see the entire C drive, for instance, of my Windows server. And here it's showing the C, E, and F drive. So I'm just going to expand the C drive once it's ready. And there are all my files. Next, I'm going to choose which file or folder that I'd like to restore from. Let's say, for instance, I choose the program files, and inside that we see lots of other folders as well as some files. And from here, I'm going to choose, say, the Windows PowerShell, double click on modules, and then I could choose a subfolder. And I'm going to see individual files here. So if I want to do individual files, I can just go ahead and choose whichever file I'd like, or I could just go ahead and choose the parent folder as well. Now I'm going to choose the restore option. So I can choose to overwrite the files. I can choose to keep them permissions only if I only want to keep the permissions without restoring the content. I'm going to choose to overwrite the files, and it's connecting and it's starting to do the overwrite. We can watch the amount of files that have been transferred as they go across along with the percentage. I can click on show details as well, which shows me even more details of the restore operation. Instead of doing a restore, I could choose the copy to option. So what that would do is it would copy those backed up files to another location. And the compare with production, that would check the backed up files and compare them to the production files currently used. So that way you could decide if you'd still like to do the restore. The reason Veeam refers to these files as guest files is because on a Hyper-V host or a VMware host, the host itself is the physical server and all of the virtual machines are considered guests. So by restoring guest files, you're restoring files from a virtual machine. However, even if this was a physical machine, it would still refer to it as guest files. The restoration is complete, and we can see that it was successful. There are 0 errors, and I'll click close. Restoring individual files using Veeam gives you lots of options to perform a restoration the way you want it to execute.